A little bit shorter, a little bit longer for some people. It just depends. And 70% of your absorption takes place in the large intestine, colon, gut. They call it many different names, right? So we're going to be working on this one here. This is a large intestine. Looks like an upside down question mark, right? Mm-hmm. Small intestine sits right in the middle of that. Not so small because it's between 22 to 25 feet long. So the food has to travel a long way before it exits the body. Now, inside of your colon, you have pores, right? And these pores, we call them fuel lines because they lead out into the bloodstream. So whatever nutrients and water you're taking in, they're being fed out from these fuel lines into the bloodstream so we can have the energy to function on a daily basis. Do you know what cortisol is? Yeah. Are you familiar with cortisol, right? So cortisol is the stress hormone acid that our body naturally produces anytime we're under stress, right? Mm-hmm. When that happens, it tends to land in this lining right here of the intestinal wall. This skin right here, that's where it lands. Now, if we don't do anything to burn this off, like run or yell or do something physical, right? It tends to saturate into these walls and it can create ulcers, right? Very dangerous acids, very strong stuff. Now, our body's very smart and it's always going to try to protect us from this acid. So the body's natural defense to cortisol is to create mucus. So mucus is going to come in here and protect us from the ulcers, which is good, right? But it's a double-edged sword. Although it's protecting us now from the ulcers, now when you're drinking your water and eating your food, it has created a barrier of deflection, right? So now those pores have a mucus layer on top and your 70% absorption has gone down. So it doesn't matter if you're drinking a gallon of water a day. You're going to be running back and forth to that bathroom and you're just going to pee it out. It's going straight through you. Because this mucus, it's sliding right off. Right? Now, once this starts happening, then obviously people are going to start to get headaches, dry skin, dry eyes, and constipation. And all of these are symptoms of dehydration. Right? So it doesn't matter what you're taking, supplements, vitamins, all that stuff is money in the toilet because you're not absorbing it. Right. So dehydration, fatigue, disturbed sleep, low energy, anxiety, and these all come in stages, and depression. Why? Because your colon and your brain are in constant communication. They're always talking to each other, right? So say you're not absorbing all of your food. You eat breakfast at 8 a.m. and then an hour later you're hungry again. And you're like, well, wait a minute, I just ate. What's going on? You didn't absorb all of breakfast. So that colon is going to send that signal to the brain, hey, we need something. So people grab energy drinks, coffee, salty snacks, Snickers, whatever's around to give them that energy so they can finish their day, right? So people are eating all day long because they can never get full. So people start to gain weight and, all this stuff happens. So dehydration. Obviously, your transit time is going to slow down. And what I mean by transit time is from the time you introduce food into the mouth until it exits the body should be 12 to 14 hours. So if you're having breakfast at 8 a.m, 12 to 14 hours after that, you should be evacuating breakfast. Same thing for lunch, same thing for dinner. So if you're eating 3 times a day, ideally, you should be going 3 times a day. It's how it works. Because the colon's only job is to pull nutrients from whatever's in there and push out the trash. All day long, that's all it does. It's its only job. But if you don't have enough water to push out that trash, then stuff is going to start to get congested in here. If after 14 hours that stool is still in the way, the colon is going to push it into these pockets. So now you're going to have poop in these pockets as well.
Poopy pockets.
Yeah. And this is a 3D picture of those pores. See how they look like pockets?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So all the nutrients go in through there and they get fed out into the bloodstream. So now imagine you have mucus in there, acid in there, and now poop in there, right?
Yeah.
So absorption keeps getting lower and lower and lower, right? Now, once all this stuff is in here, the reason I asked if you were on any medication is because unfortunately medication, anything chemical or man-made, is going to leave a residue in your colon as well. So the layer keeps getting thicker and thicker, right? Now, all this stuff is not all going to stay in there. Because it's so close to the fuel lines, what's going to end up happening is you can start to recycle that back into the bloodstream. A lot of people call it leaky gut.
Yeah.
Right? So all this stuff is seeping out. The medical term for these are diverticulae. Once these become inflamed and start leaking out into the system, diverticulitis, you end up in the hospital. It's a very serious condition. So once all this stuff happens, if you're not evacuating daily, because this is the trash can of the body, then it's going to come through your skin and the orifices. Bad breath, bad body odor, all that stuff will happen next. That's how the animals in the animal kingdom pick their mates, by scent, right? They know who's weak, who's strong, who's sick, because of smell, right? In this society, we mask everything, deodorant, perfumes, we've got all that stuff. But besides the point, so this is what ends up happening with the colon. And the very first thing that we're going to take care of today is the dehydration issue by giving you some water, obviously. We're going to hydrate you at the rate of 1 liter every 5 minutes, which is the fastest form of hydration known to man as of yet. When you go in for an IV hydration, it's 1 liter every 20 minutes. So here I'm going to do it 4 times as fast, right?
Wait, what are we doing?
We're going to hydrate him.
I know, but what are we doing though? Like for the camera.
Oh,
How are you doing it?
how are we doing it with the Detolo? That instrument that you see right there behind you is going to pump water into you. And all we use is water. We don't add anything to the water. It's triple filtered with a coconut carbon filter.
Pristine hydro.
Yes.
Oh, see.
And it's a 45-minute session. Everything that we use is disposable. So this mat here will be thrown in the trash after we use it. I opened up one of these for you. It's your bin. And then that, after use, goes in the trash as well. Okay? We use medical gowns. The opening goes to the back. Everything comes off. You have 2 baskets, one for your clothes and one for your shoes, but I'll go grab the other one. Is that Austin's stuff there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Colon hydrotherapy.
Yes.
Fucking do it.